There was that article about Justin Bieber basically blocking his whole team, all those people that were close to him. And now it says cut off. Got this article here from the U.S. Sun. Justin Bieber fans concerned for star after he abruptly unfollows Usher and 5 other longtime friends. Now, I don't know if, when he say longtime friends, I don't know if this is 5 new people or they're just saying Usher along with the other people. Fans are concerned for the star after noticing who he has unfollowed on Instagram recently. Boy. It said Usher and Justin have long had a close friendship and professional relationship. Sounds weird reading that. I don't know if they worded that right. Maybe they did. The paint got close, then Justin's career began. Usher has been a mentor to the baby hitmaker, and the two have collaborated on songs. It has now been spotted that Justin recently unfollowed Usher. I don't know if they're writing this right. It says, wish it also speculated that that he has unfollowed several more pals. Maybe they meant to say which it also, whatever. Justin has also unfollowed and possibly blocked Scooter Braun, his former manager he fired in 2022. Allison Kay, his former manager from SB Projects, has also been unfollowed. A 4th close connection of Justin's that he recently unfollowed is Kenny Hamilton, his former bodyguard from 2009 and 2010. Ryan Good, who was the singer's former swag coach, wow, who has been around since 2009 and was best man at Justin's wedding, has also been unfollowed. Oh, wow, the best man. So these are the same people that I had mentioned before.
Drama in the entertainment world is always interesting, but when big names like Justin Bieber, Usher, and Diddy are involved, it grabs everyone's attention. Fans are talking after Bieber unexpectedly unfollowed his mentor, Usher, on Instagram, leading to all kinds of rumors. How are Bieber, Usher, and the Diddy scandal connected? Let's break it down.
Telling y'all something brewing. It says, I think celebs who don't follow anyone have the right idea because then there's no speculation, said one person on Reddit in response to Justin unfollowing Usher. A second person added how he's unfollowing a lot of people that I have questions about, adding, you go Justin, you heal. And it says, this is really interesting. This is really interesting, said a third. I wonder when it's all going to be revealed what's going on. A fourth person went on to speculate maybe he wants to distance himself from people in his past who treated him poorly. Again, there had been rumored and speculated that Usher handed Justin over to Diddy, as you know, Usher's mother allowed him to go to the flavor camp. Justin spent that, said, what did he say? I got 48 hours with him or something like that. So my whole thing is, I think Justin may be looking back, reflecting, and because again, what's being alleged of what happened to him, and he's looking at all the people who didn't help him, who put him in that position. So that's allegedly. He's a new dad. Having a child really helps put things into perspective, said someone else. While another added, I'm happy that Justin seems to be doing what's best for him and his family. He doesn't owe anyone an explanation. That's big facts. That's big facts. It's just the fact that people are going to speculate, and they when you look at those videos that have been resurfacing, and you're just kind of wondering, like, if, like, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but if there hasn't been any like public beef, like, you know, following his best man, you know, we all know it's something going on. Something. It says, this isn't the first time that Usher has been snubbed by Justin. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. Justin didn't perform with Usher at the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show because he declined the invitation. Okay, that's news to me. Usher reached out to Justin, but he wasn't interested in appearing as peer reports. It says, although Justin didn't perform with Usher, he was spotted watching the show from the stands with his wife, Hailey Bieber. So he was at the game.
Imagine scrolling through Instagram and realizing that Justin Bieber, the global pop star, has unfollowed Usher, the very person who helped launch his career. This surprising move has left fans wondering what went wrong between the two. Could this be linked to the growing controversy surrounding Diddy?
I was doing Molly,
right.
You know,
so wasting your life.
Rooms, everything.
Right.
Bad boy. Oh, he's bad boy now.
Signing the bad boy.
It looks like Diddy is asking him if he has a wire. Justin says no. Then Diddy checks to see if he has a wire. Yo, this is some sick shit.
So apparently Justin Bieber is finally starting to come to terms with some heavy stuff regarding his early days in the music industry. Word on the street is that he's been feeling like he was manipulated and used by Usher and Diddy. And
Bro, maybe that's why he's doing so many narcotics.
He may be finally ready to share his story. So these disturbing rumors about Justin and Diddy have been floating around for ages, and recently Jaguar Wright threw Usher into the mix, accusing him of essentially handing Justin over to Diddy. But here's the twist. Jaguar also mentioned that Usher might have been a victim himself.
I'm not angry with Usher. He's a victim. But when you decide, hey, I can't beat them, so I'm going to join them.
Right.
See, that's when me and you got a problem.
This just goes to show how this evil cycle works, and I'm sincerely hoping there's a reckoning within the music industry, specifically the hip-hop industry, about this situation. But what do we really know about Diddy's connection to Justin Bieber? And where does Usher fit into all this drama? Let's get into it.
I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing is popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day. I basically said to myself, oh my God, if you're real, you get me through this season of stopping these pills and stuff. And if you do, I'll do the rest of the work.
So a bunch of old videos showing Diddy's questionable interactions with Justin Bieber have suddenly popped up again on the internet after Diddy's homes got raided last month as part of an ongoing federal investigation. Some of these videos are extremely unsettling to watch, and fans are now reevaluating everything about Justin's past.
Bro, like every single video that you see with Diddy in it currently, it's hard to look at because you're just like, bro, why are you touching on people like that? Why are you doing that? Like, why are you so hands-on with people that literally have nothing to do with you? That's such a weird thing. It's uncomfortable to encounter.
Especially his struggles with mental health and substance. streams. Once upon a time, Justin Bieber was the biggest pop star on the planet. But these days, it seems like Justin is a shell of his former self. He always looks sad and lost, and it seems he doesn't have any interest in making music anymore. Last year, he made a huge move and sold off his entire music catalog for $200 million. And there's been a lot of speculation that he's officially retired from the music business. But what's really weird is that Justin seems to be steering clear of solo music these days, and yet last September he popped up on one of Diddy's tracks called Moments from his album, The Love Album, Off the Grid. Now, you'd think if Justin's not really into his own music anymore, he wouldn't have time to jump on someone else's project, right? Well, there's been some buzz lately about Justin either having some type of trauma bond with Diddy or being a victim of Diddy's alleged blackmail scheme. By the way, when Diddy announced Justin's feature on his album last year, he wrote this on Twitter: Justin Bieber has become one of the biggest superstars in the world. I met him when he was playing his guitar outside on the street. I'm honored to call him a dear friend and a brother. I never had the chance to work with him until now. God is the greatest. But hold up. Why did Diddy say he met Justin while he was playing guitar
For those who don't know, Diddy is currently facing serious legal allegations that have shaken the music industry. This controversy is creating ripples in unexpected ways. Usher, who has been close to Diddy both personally and professionally, now finds himself affected by the fallout. This context makes Justin Bieber's decision to unfollow Usher on Instagram even more significant, or at least that's what some fans believe.
encounter on the sidewalk. To give some context, when Justin was about 12, he started gaining some serious traction thanks to his mom, Patty Millette, who was uploading his singing videos on YouTube. One of these videos caught the eye of controversial manager Scooter Braun, and Scooter was so convinced that Justin had what it takes to be the next big thing that he went on this whole detective mission to track him down. Scooter found the theater Justin was performing at in one of those YouTube videos, hunted down his school, and finally reached out to Patty,
Sounds like him.
begging her to let Justin come with him to Atlanta. After some hesitation, Justin's mom agreed, and at just 13 years old, Justin hopped on a plane to Atlanta with Scooter to lay down some demo tapes. And get this, just a week later, Usher himself swooped in and became Justin's mentor. Now, in the interview with the New York Times, Justin's mom spilled the beans on how Usher didn't stop at mentoring. He went the extra mile and appointed his right-hand man, Ryan Good, to be Justin's road manager, and as he put it, his swagger coach. And according to Patty, this is when she started losing control over Justin. Now keep in mind that Patty was just a teenager herself when she had Justin. And to top it off, she had to raise him all on her own after Justin's dad, Jeremy, hit the road. Life wasn't exactly a walk in the park for Patty either. She went through some tough times and even battled with thoughts of ending it all when she was just 17. So you can imagine, Patty probably saw this opportunity with Scooter and Usher as a ticket to a better life for Justin. She put all her trust in them.
Not just Justin, both of them.
Hoping they'd protect her son and give him the chances she never had. But as it often goes, once Scooter and Usher stepped in, Patty was completely shut out. And suddenly, Justin was out of her hands. But it gets worse, because Usher apparently wasted no time introducing young Justin to his mentor, Diddy. Back in 2009, 15-year-old Justin got shipped off to spend 48 hours with Diddy. But no one bothered to explain what the purpose of this hangout was. Justin wasn't a rapper, so what exactly was Diddy supposed to teach him? Now, as you probably know, there's this video floating around from that time that's got everyone buzzing. And it shows Diddy talking about how he can't disclose what exactly he and Justin are up to.
Oh, no.
Where are we off to now?
And like specifically, if this is like, if the first time they actually did anything together musically was pretty recently.
Fans were quick to piece things together. One social media user speculated, didn't Usher take Justin to Diddy's parties when he was a minor? Raising some troubling questions. Those familiar with Bieber's journey know he struggled with mental health and the pressures of growing up in the public eye. Could this unfollow be his way of taking control and setting boundaries?
Heard a certain song of what might sound like Justin Bieber, and might sound are the key words because there is a good chance it is not real. Here's a little bit of it.
With myself at a big party, didn't know that's how it goes.
It went viral on social media after Sean Diddy Combs' arrest with lyrics alleging an experience at one of Diddy's parties. But here's the thing. In a day and age where AI is everywhere, there's no evidence that this is a real song. It's not on streaming platforms, not in Bieber's official catalog either. And instead, it has all the hallmarks of a deep fake. Let's bring in NBC News digital reporter Maya Eaglin. Maya, thanks so much for joining us. How long has this song been making the rounds, and how viral has it gotten?
So, Gotti, it originally came out in April of this year when we were seeing a lot of those accusations and videos around producer Sean Diddy Combs, but it's kind of recycled into the viral motion of things in the last few weeks, honestly, and that's because a lot of people are drawing comparisons to the lyrics and what Justin Bieber says he went through and what people around Justin Bieber says he went through. But as you mentioned, it sounds like Justin Bieber, but there's a lot of speculation on if it's AI or not. I reached out to Justin Bieber's team today, and they were not able to get back to us to confirm that or not. Gotti?
And Maya, is it possible to tell whether or not this is a fake song?
It's very, very tricky, but I reached out to a former Sony music producer, and he also created a company called Spy AI that works to try and determine AI's influence in products. His name's Steven Stahl. Take a listen to what he thinks about this track.
Never be 100% guaranteed, unfortunately, because the technology is consistently improving and changing. So we always have to basically catch up to the next greatest piece of technology. There's still some AI artifacts in the voice that I can hear. You know, AI music hasn't fully gotten to the point where it's entirely indistinguishable from human vocals. So I can hear the AI artifacts. You know, it's heavily tuned, heavily auto-tuned as well.
So, Gotti, he's not completely convinced, but said there were definitely some clues as to why he thinks it's probably made with AI.
Wow, so he can kind of detect it just like some people are really good at spotting AI-altered images. It's really fascinating that his ears work that way. How hard is it to make something like this if this is a deep fake?
I think it's getting easier and easier. Actually, Gotti, I know you've had a lot of experience with some of these softwares. So have I in my reporting. Steven actually made an example of how easy it is using this song, but changed the lyrics to talk about this very story that we're reporting on. So take a listen and listen closely to how he was able to do this in 2 minutes. The lyrics there are the NBC News report with Maya, where she's trying to determine if this song is real or AI, and he said he did it in 2 minutes.
I prefer that one much more than the other one. Maya, thanks so much for showing us that.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
What's especially intriguing and a bit puzzling is that Bieber still follows Diddy on social media. Why cut ties with Usher, but not Diddy? It feels like a mystery with missing clues. Some fans think it might be a calculated move, while others see it as a personal statement. Perhaps Bieber's way of stepping back from someone closely linked to the controversy.
To pay for success, Justin Bieber, arguably one of the best musical artists in the last 10 years. By the way, do you know how old Justin Bieber is now today? 30 years old. He got famous 15 years ago when he was, and probably before that, but because if you're meeting Diddy, you're probably famous at that point. He's been famous for a decade and a half. At what point do the parents have to say, hey, look, we love our kid. We want the best for him. He really wants to go for this music thing. He's up here in Canada, and we're going to bring him to Miami, to LA, and we're going to give him a shot. Now, what happens behind closed doors, that's, Justin Bieber and Diddy knows. But let's not get it twisted. The kid's not 5 years old. He's not 10 years old. You're 15 years old. You're at Diddy's house. You kind of got to be able to make decisions.
Are you saying at 15, Adam, I'm so confused. Are you saying at 15 he should have responsibility to not let a man molest him and potentially rape him?
Well, A, yes. But B, the parents, where are they here? Why aren't the parents...
At 15, a teenager shouldn't be expected to navigate adult situations alone. Responsibility lies with the adults and parents. Usher's close ties to Diddy, once seen as a career highlight, now appear as a potential liability in light of the allegations.
Diddy Combs back in a New York City courtroom, we believe right about now, as he tries to appeal a judge's ruling, which denied him bail and sent him to jail as he awaits trial in the explosive sex trafficking and racketeering case against him. Prosecutors describe a large criminal ring orchestrated by Combs to sexually abuse dozens of women. drugging them, beating them, and recording sexual acts for at least 15 years. The move from the judge to hold the musician mogul in jail before his trial comes as prosecutors argue Combs, his massive wealth, makes him a flight risk. And they're also accusing him of witness tampering, trying to keep both them, witnesses, and his victims silent. Combs' team offered a $50 million bond agreement, with his attorney claiming Combs is, in his words, eminently trustworthy. The judge didn't buy it. It is a stunning fall from the height of pop culture. Combs, however, is pleading not guilty and has denied any wrongdoing. Let's bring in NBC's Chloe Malas for more. And Chloe, there are no phones, no electronics allowed in court.
We actually have breaking news. We have some breaking news right now. According to NBC News, just moments ago, I'm reading off my phone right now, Sean Diddy Combs will not be released. And this is per the district attorney's office. So let me explain and silence my phone and break down what exactly that means, or else my kids will call me during this entire segment. So this basically means, Tom, that now Sean Diddy Combs sits behind bars until this potentially goes to trial. Why do I say potentially? Even though his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, spoke to CNN last night and said that it is very unlikely that he would accept any sort of a plea deal. And we don't even know if a plea deal would even be on the table with these very extreme criminal charges of racketeering, transportation when it comes to prostitution and sex trafficking. We do know that this could be potentially a year behind bars. I was talking to NBC's legal analyst and correspondent Laura Jarrett earlier today. And, you know, there's so many motions and, so much discovery to do, as you know, and you've covered things like this, I'm sure, that it takes a while to get ready for a big criminal trial like this when there's so many charges and so many different grand jury subpoenas and things like that. So currently, though, he is in jail. And that's what it is. Everybody asks me the difference between jail and prison. You go to prison after you've been found guilty. Right now, he's in jail, and he's in jail in Brooklyn. And this is one of the main issues that his legal team had, was that this detention center in Brooklyn has seen suicides. It saw somebody get killed over the summer, food contamination, overcrowding, and they listed all of this in their filing to the judge. But clearly, this federal judge was not persuaded, Tom. And so now that's it. He stays behind bars while he waits to...
It's an understatement. He is an icon. And what are the chances that he gets any sort of preferential or royal treatment in the jail? Or, given the charges that are so significant and serious against him, is he going to be treated like any other inmate?
That's incredibly hard to say, right? When you see, and I don't want to generalize here, but when you do see, let's say, accusations against minors, which we don't see in this indictment. You can sometimes see some of these high-profile alleged criminals maybe put into solitary confinement. Will he be treated like any other inmate while he's in this detention center in Brooklyn? It's sort of left to be seen. I think that over the coming weeks, we'll see what happens and what types of motions that his team files if they feel as though he is under immediate threat, or if he gets, beat up in prison or in jail. See, I made that mistake. If he gets beat up in jail, or if something like that happens, I guess maybe always things could change. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein, for example. Not that I want to compare the two, but Harvey Weinstein has been been treated in a medical ward because he has all of these medical issues, right? And so the judge had decided even today that he can still stay in the medical ward. So again, I think it's a case-by-case basis, and we have to see how this all plays out. But let's just put it this way. Sean Diddy Combs is a billionaire. He achieved billionaire status in 2022. He is not going to be happy, Tom, being in jail. And this is a far cry from his multi-million dollar homes all across this country. So obviously it's a huge fall from grace for somebody that was such a pioneer in the music industry.
Yeah, but to your point, Chloe, if it were you or me, not suggesting either one of us would ever face these kinds of charges, but there is no way we'd be out on bail or bond, right? I mean, these are incredibly serious charges that could land him in prison for years and years and years, and they involve violence, not to mention racketeering.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.
Michael's with me now. Let's just deal with if you will, the logistics before we turn to the gravamen. The refusal of bail in these circumstances, bearing in mind he'd flown to New York to turn himself in, so he was preempted by the police. Are you surprised that he was refused bail?
Well, I'm glad to be with you. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, the nature of these charges are so serious, the allegations are so serious, that it's not surprising that this hearing he was denied bail. The judge has to look at things like whether or not he could be expected to return to court. Does he have the manner and means to perhaps evade law enforcement and not appear? Is he a flight risk, in other words? And so I think at this point the judge has decided that the fact that he was doing these acts in secret do not obviously lend much to his statements that he will be open and available. So I'm not surprised at all. But again, we will see what the district judge now does since the case has been, or the decision has been at least appealed up, whether or not there are some terms of bail that might make the court comfortable that he will show up for court.
Now, turning to the charges themselves, they are amongst the most serious, which would involve very long periods of incarceration if convicted. But it also raises the question, if there was a plea deal at some point in the future, to plead down from these very serious charges, the lesser accepted offences would also be serious and could end up in prison.
I think any plea discussion of the case, because you have such significant impact on the victims of the case, would necessitate that he be sentenced to prison in some way. I just don't think that a judge would take and place him on probation or some type of house arrest given the allegations that were made, no matter what the plea discussions were. And remember, the prosecution and a defendant can negotiate a plea amongst themselves, but a court has the decision finally on whether or not to accept that recommendation, and ultimately has the authority to make a decision about whether or not a prison sentence is appropriate. We operate under the federal sentencing guidelines. Those give the judge some parameters to consider, things like whether or not somebody accepts responsibility, whether or not there have been an adverse impact on victims, whether or not there's been excessive fraud and deceit through the investigation of the case. Those things come into play as we talk about what might happen if there is a plea agreement that's ultimately reached.
It's important to remember, besides obviously he's innocent until proven guilty at the moment, but it's also important to remember that not being a nice person, being an unnice person, if you will, is not a crime. They're going to have to prove the elements of the offences in these cases. Just because he might not be likable is not enough to get you locked up.
Is now being accused of obstructing justice.
Diddy running the jail, man. He running the spot.
Right. According to you, the inmates are fighting over making his bed.
Yep. Well, really, according to Lisa Evers, I want to give her credit. Lisa Evers does an amazing job covering all things, within the New York metropolitan area. She interviewed an inmate that spent some time at MDC Brooklyn alongside Diddy. And, remember, we're all thinking that Diddy's like in super isolation, doesn't talk to no inmates. We later find out via even court filings by the government, he does. And this one inmate looked like he's not wrong because he says, hey, listen, Diddy's such a big player in the game in terms of, his power and he's that guy even in jail. Dudes are getting jealous at other dudes based on who made his bed. And I'm like, yo.
So that's a real thing? Yeah. People are actually making his bed?
Yeah.
I thought you were just joking.
Listen, there's an inmate that said it. There's an inmate that said it, that Lisa Evers, who works for Fox 5.
No, I know Lisa. Yeah. I've done her show before.
Of course. So that's what that inmate said. And I think some people wanted to call it cap till we realized that, the filing that came out on Friday or Thursday by the government, which is a response to Diddy's new motion for bail, essentially said Diddy is using like 8 other inmates like personal access codes to call everybody he wants.
Exactly.
It's like, add this person to the call, add this person. Yo, like he's running the jail. So these inmates, I completely believe, and by the way, this is how the government paints it. He's getting them paid directly through what they call these cash processing systems.
Yeah.
So, probably tells his people, send her $1,000. Send his mom, send his girl, cool. And then the inmate in there with him is like, yo, we're going to have your commissary filled. You're going to move around like a king like me. So I get why this is happening. And the only thing I look at is like, why did people believe or think anything otherwise? Like, you think you're going to normalize a billionaire that could have any type? Like, if Diddy walked in a room and you know this guy's of significant money, power, and even respect, despite whatever happened, and y'all are all in jail, you're not going to be like, yo, bro, he usually don't got to bring his tray over there to throw it away. Now I'll do it because I want to be cool with him. I got my people outside. Like, shit, I have a public defender. This guy is spending $2.7 million a month on lawyers. He could throw me, even if he throws me $2,500. Hey, nobody can touch Diddy in here. Matter of fact, I'm going to act like I could be the most bitch-made dude. Hey, I'm just letting y'all know, anybody want to get to him, y'all got to go through me. I'll take the ass whooping for. So this kind of sounds normal. However, I think people thought Diddy was done when he got to jail. Like, okay, you're finally a regular person. And they're realizing, you know, Diddy didn't work all them